Imagine discovering that the woman you built a family with, the mother of your children, was sneaking off every week to betray you with another man. What would you do? Cry? Confront her? Or would you burn their lives to the ground? Because that's exactly what I did. And trust me, you're going to love how this ends. If you've ever been betrayed or dreamed of watching karma tear apart someone who deserved it, hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready, because this is one of the most brutally satisfying revenge stories you'll hear all week. Back in the early 2000s, I thought I had a picture-perfect family. 2 beautiful kids, just 4 and 6 at the time. A wife I trusted, or at least I thought I did. But slowly, cracks started to show. My kids would tell me, with their innocent little voices, that mommy took them to grandma and grandpa's house. A lot. And I mean a lot. Her parents lived an hour and a half away. Yet somehow, she was making that trip 2, sometimes 3 times a week. At first, I brushed it off. Maybe she just needs the help, I told myself. But deep down, a knot of suspicion was growing in my stomach. And when I asked her about it, she looked me in the eye and lied. I could see it. The twitch in her face. The hesitation in her voice. She wasn't good at lying. And I knew something was very, very wrong. So I did what any desperate, suspicious husband would do. I started tracking her mileage. Her car was racking up hundreds of unexplained miles. 400 extra miles a week. And that wasn't trips to her parents. That was betrayal, written on the odometer. And then, fate handed me the smoking gun. One day, she left a sticky note by the computer. Her AOL password. Sitting right there. I swear, I stared at it for a full minute. My heart pounding in my chest. And finally, I typed it in. Her inbox was a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. Emails with her college best friend. Laughing about how she was hooking up with an old high school boyfriend. Mocking his wife, calling her fat after having kids. I printed those emails. Every single one. My hands were shaking as I tucked them away. Because now I didn't just suspect. I knew. But knowing wasn't enough. I wanted everything. Dates. Times. Proof so strong it could destroy her world if I needed it to. So I called in a favor. A buddy of mine, a cop, put me in touch with a private investigator. Let's call him John. John was a pro. And within weeks, I had a thick report in my hands. Photos. Dates. Locations. My wife would drop off the kids. Have lunch with her old flame. Then sneak off to a cheap, disgusting motel. And after her little afternoon fling, she'd go pick up our children, smiling like nothing ever happened. Do you feel that rage? Because I did. My blood boiled every time I flipped through that report. This wasn't just betrayal. This was a woman playing with fire while holding my children in her arms. That was it. I wasn't going to let this rot away like my own parents' marriage had. I called a divorce lawyer. But here's where things got interesting. I wanted to know more about the man she was cheating with. James. John dug into him too. And what he uncovered. Delicious. James was married. He had 3 kids of his own. He worked as a vice president of sales for, get this, his father-in-law's company. His entire cushy lifestyle depended on the family he was betraying. I smiled when I read that. Because now, revenge wasn't just possible. It was inevitable. I had the divorce papers drawn up. But I wasn't going to just hand them to my wife quietly. No, I wanted this to sting. So, on the very same day she was served at her workplace, Ron paid a visit to James's wife. Imagine her face. Sitting down across from a private investigator, being handed photo after photo of her husband sneaking into motels with another woman. My wife. That poor woman deserved the truth. And I made sure she got it. Now, here's the part you've been waiting for. The fallout. For me? Smooth divorce. I focused on my kids. Kept things civil enough. But for James? His entire world went up in flames. His wife drained their joint bank account. Took the kids. Walked out without looking back. Her father, the same man who owned the company James worked for, fired him on the spot. That beautiful family home they lived in. Yeah, her parents owned that too. Evicted. Gone. And as if that wasn't enough, the divorce turned nuclear. Screaming matches. Court battles. Restraining orders. At one point, James even tried showing up at the house. His brother-in-law broke his nose. Police reports piled up. Criminal charges. Jail time. Piece by piece, James lost everything. His job. His marriage. His home. His dignity. The last I heard, he left the state, tail tucked between his legs. Meanwhile, his ex-wife? She took over her dad's business and built a solid life for herself and her kids. Karma served cold and permanent. As for me, my ex-wife and I only talked when it was about the kids. And once they were grown, radio silence. Do I hate her? No. Hate takes energy. She's nothing to me now, except the mother of my children. But James? I'll admit, sometimes I smile, just thinking about the day his entire world crumbled. Because he didn't just cheat on his wife. He tried to destroy mine. And I made sure his punishment fit the crime. On the exact day my wife was served divorce papers at her job, her lover's wife was being handed a folder that would destroy his life. By sunset, 2 cheaters were exposed. And by the end of the year, James had lost his marriage, his job, his house, and his freedom. That is karma. Revenge doesn't always come easy. But sometimes, with patience, with planning, justice finds its way. And when it does, it's sweeter than anything you could imagine. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button. And tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen play out? Don't forget to subscribe, because trust me, you don't want to miss the next one.